All right, my friend, welcome. I'm Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, founder here at the Fit Father Project. In today's video, we're going to talk about an incredibly important topic, how to beat a weight loss plateau. And if you're anything like the thousands of guys we help here at the Fit Father Project, you're trying to lose weight, and along your journey of losing weight, there are times where you may find that you hit a frustrating weight loss plateau where the scale won't budge, and maybe you're doing similar things with your eating and your exercise and you're just not seeing progress. And that is just a really critical time where we need to figure out how to bust you through that plateau so that you don't lose motivation, fall off track, and quit. In today's video in particular, we're going to talk about 6 very proven strategies that we use with our thousands of clients all over the world on our Fit Father Project online programs to help you bust through a weight loss plateau. You're going to learn a ton in this video, and as we're going through these strategies, I want to invite you to get out a pen and paper and maybe take some notes on some of these things that you think are really applicable to your life so we can get you moving forward on your weight loss progress. Let's dive on in. You're going to learn a ton.
FitFatherProject.com.
All right, so the first tip is to identify your consistency gaps. And what this really means is that when it comes to weight loss, there are some core fundamentals. 1, you need to be on a proper, healthy, sustainable meal plan. 2, you need to be exercising regularly. 3, you need to be sleeping regularly. And 4, you need some kind of ongoing structure and accountability to keep you on track. That's like the big picture, the nutrition, the exercise, the sleep, and the structure, accountability, motivation component. So my question is, like, looking at that big picture architecture, where are your consistency gaps in any of those categories? But I'll give you a few scenarios, for example, that we see here at the Fit Father Project. When it comes to the nutrition, which is one of the foundations, we see a lot of guys who hit weight loss plateaus where they do really well during the week, and then the weekend hits and they just blow it up. So they've actually lost weight during the week, but when the weekend comes, they go to parties, they drink some beers, they eat chips, and then all that weight loss progress gets sabotaged and they find they hit a plateau. So that's one common thing. Or maybe life gets busy with your work or with your family and you don't start to get the workouts in as consistently as possible. Or maybe you're not sleeping as well. And I gotta tell you, sleep, particularly with all of our clients, when the sleep goes, the weight loss stops. And it's just because our bodies need to get the signal that we're getting enough rest and recovery and rejuvenation to properly lose weight weeks on end. So sleep. How's your sleep doing right now? Use this opportunity to check in as an audit. And finally, is it maybe your motivation or your accountability that's falling off track that's really leading to some kind of plateau? Now, these consistency gaps are very often involved in every weight loss plateau, but they're not always causative. It's not always like you have to have a consistency gap to hit a plateau, but I'm willing to bet that if you look hard enough, there's some area of your life where you could tighten things up, whether it's on the nutrition, exercise, sleep, or accountability framework. So what are your consistency gaps? Start to identify those, because that's going to give you some prescriptive ability to say, okay, Dr. A, I get it. You know, the weekends haven't been great for me, and maybe that's a time where you can really tighten things up and you'll see the weight moving again. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is more sleep and more water. Regardless of your consistency gap, when we have guys hit plateaus, 2 things we automatically do is get you sleeping more, even if it's 30 minutes more, but ideally an hour more, and get you hydrating more. These 2 things will really help kick your body back into a weight loss mode, because a lot of times what happens is when these plateaus happen is our bodies are actually retaining water from being in a slightly stressed state. And this happens when we do miss sleep. Our bodies get insulin resistant, and we can actually hold on to more water. So you can really be frustrating if your body's holding on to 3, 4, or 5 pounds of water that you don't see the scale moving down. So that's where actually drinking more water helps. Drinking more water actually helps encourage your body to release this excess water retention that's being held. It really helps your kidneys start to filter out more water. So more sleep and more water is pretty much a really good blanket advice for any guy who feels like he's at a plateau, regardless of your consistency gap. Number 3, scale back on your portions. And this is kind of comes down to the weight loss really involves burning more calories than you take in. So we can work on that equation in 2 ways. We can get you exercising more, or we can get you eating less. And there is a happy balance here. I do not want you on a starvation diet, because that's just not sustainable and it's not good for your metabolism. And I don't want you exercising for 2 hours a day, because again, not sustainable and not necessary. But if we find that we're good on sleep, good on water, we've identified our consistency gaps, it may be time where you need to scale back your portions a little bit. And that can get the weight moving again. And what I would recommend is that if you're going to scale back on one thing, using something like our perfect plate formula that we recommend most of your weight loss meals be tailored around, it's to cut back on the carb portion a bit. Keep the proteins high, keep the veggies high, keep those healthy fats in there, but scale back on those carbs just a little bit. You know, sometimes small portion tweaks are enough to get the weight moving again. That's something to definitely look at. Another thing that's a little more of an advanced habit, and we do definitely teach this in our FitFollower 30X program, is the importance of doing a free meal or a refeed day. And this is a day where we actually intentionally feed you more carbs than normal, way more carbs than normal, and that can actually stimulate your metabolism back into fat burning mode. Because here's what happens. Our fat cells actually have a hormone in it called leptin. And what leptin does, our fat cells make leptin. Leptin actually increases our energy expenditure, increases our metabolic rate, and decreases our hunger. And so what happens is as we lose fat and lose weight, leptin levels decrease. And as leptin levels decrease, our metabolism decreases. That's why as we consistently lose weight, it becomes harder for our bodies to lose weight. Fat cells go down, leptin goes down. What stimulates leptin? High carbohydrate refeeds. But Dr. Anthony, you just told me to cut back on carbs. Yes, I did. I told you to cut back on carbs in your daily meals. But there's a very particular special thing that happens if you kind of shock your body with a 1 day super high carb day that can dramatically spike leptin levels back up and keep the weight loss going. That's why as you get leaner and leaner, it's sometimes a good idea to do these high carb refeed days. In fact, a lot of competitive bodybuilders who get down to like 4 or 5% body fat, like incredibly lean, like paper thin skin, are doing refeeds, you know, once a week, if not twice a week, with very high carbs. Now, the key to doing a refeed, if you think this is something that you want to do, is twofold. One, do it after a workout. Get up on the weekend, do a morning workout, and then start your refeed. And two, make sure you're eating really high carb, low fat foods. So eating pizza, which is a high fat, high carb food, no good. Eating something like a bunch of rice, which is a low fat, high carb food, really good. So you need to make sure that you're keeping your fat as low as possible on these refeeds and that you're just ingesting a ton of carbohydrates and some protein. So for example, a big bowl of gluten-free pasta, or if you're good with wheat products, just pasta in general with some chicken breasts and some low-fat red sauce, very good. Having a steak and avocado and a giant potato, not as good. That's a lot higher in fat. So if you're gonna do a refeed, which can be a good strategy, then I recommend you really, really make sure you're eating low-fat foods. Next strategy I have for you is to start intermittent fasting. And if you're not familiar, intermittent fasting comes in a lot of forms, but it's the habit of strategically basically like having scheduled times where you're taking a break from eating. And there are a lot of people who do intermittent fasting. In fact, some of our FitFollower Project meal plans on our FF30X program series use intermittent fasting, where you have that first meal starts at 10:30, your next meal's at 2:30, and your dinner's at like 6, and you stay fasted for roughly 16 hours every single day. So you compress that eating window. That's one way to do it. But what I even like even more as it comes to really kicking the weight loss through is starting a once per week dinner to dinner fast with green tea. So how that would work is you'd have dinner tonight, and then after dinner you'd stop eating and just drink water, black coffee, or green tea until dinner the following day. And there are so many health benefits outside of the weight loss to intermittent fasting. Your growth hormone levels shoot through the roof, almost 1,600% higher over a 24-hour fast. Your body detoxifies on a cellular level, cleans out a bunch of junk. Your brain builds new actual brain cells. Your body becomes better able to process carbs the following day, which is called insulin sensitivity. And you do lose weight because you're not eating for a whole day, and your body releases water weight as well as burns a ton of fat during the time. So this is something that we start actually in our FitFollower Project Phase 2 program, a dinner to dinner 24-hour fast, incredibly effective, and it can really be used to really kickstart your weight loss if you're feeling like. And the thing I love about it, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's something you can start this week, and it really does work. But you got to make sure you stay hydrated and you're drinking a lot of water. This is just a calorie-free fast, but you want to stay hydrated with the proper fluids. And look, you can do these things together. So this whole thing, sleep more, drink more water. You can do a refeed after a workout day and do intermittent fasting into your routine. You can do this as a full suite plan to break through your plateau. And the final thing I would say is you can start supplementing if you're not. And there are certain supplements that provide modest benefits to weight loss, but do remember they're supplements, meaning they're supplemental to the nutrition, exercise, sleep, and accountability. But they can help. And if you're at a point where you kind of need to jolt the system a little bit, there are a couple supplements that I would recommend you check out. First one is green tea. You can either drink whole leaf green tea and you combine the green tea with the intermittent fasting. Man, that is a lightning charged weight loss habit. But there's also, you can get green tea in pill form because you're really looking for the green tea catechins, which are special antioxidants in green tea that have been shown to help with weight loss and fat loss. And so below this video, in the article associated with this video, I'll give you links to some of the research on that, as well as some of the dosage guidelines, so you can start checking some of that stuff out. Green tea, coffee, whole black coffee. Amazingly effective for weight loss, probably better than any quote-unquote fat-burning supplement on the market because coffee has caffeine. Yes, that can increase your metabolic rate, but it also has other compounds in it like caffeic acid that actually can help fat burning. So increasing the amount of coffee you drink can help, but do know this is something that's not a real long-term strategy. We don't want your body reliant on stimulants. And if you go down this rabbit hole and you end up drinking like 5-6 cups of coffee, that's not good for your health. But in moderation, increasing the coffee a little bit can help, particularly if you work out in the morning fasted. Having some coffee before that can be beneficial. Next, they're part of our Golden 5 supplements we recommend here at the Fit Follower Project: fish oil, probiotics, and vitamin D3. These are some staple supplements that can really help increase your overall health and promote better weight loss. And so these are something to look into as well. And again, we have links below this video in the article associated with the video on the Fit Follower Project blog that covers all of this. Point being, weight loss plateaus happen. They're frustrating, but with these kind of strategies, we really can break through them. And I need you to know here at the Fit Follower Project, if you need help and you're not on one of our structured programs, basically what we do is lay all this stuff out into a straight action plan for your nutrition, your exercise, your sleep, your supplementation, and we keep you accountable and motivated with regular email training and coaching from me and my staff. It's a no-brainer, so if you really need help, getting on a structured program can be your golden ticket because we lay all this out and there's no guesswork. But otherwise, these are just some great tips, and I hope you found at least one or two things useful in this video that you can take and apply. And just do know that you can break through your weight loss plateau. There are thousands of guys here on the Fit Follower Project programs that lose 100 plus pounds, using these habits and using these tools and tips. They really do work. So hope you found this valuable. Definitely check out our blog and join some of our Fit Follower Project programs like FF30X. And if you're already on, join our phase 2 programs inside Fit Follower for Life. And let's keep you moving on your weight loss journey. Let's help you reach your final goal. And I'm grateful that you found this video, and I hope you found this valuable. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.